right, well, good evening for those of you who have decided to join us. Thank you so much for joining us. Tonight is our presentation on the universities of Southwest Ohio. We thank you for joining us here for our virtual college exploration for all Illinois students. Just a couple quick reminders that if you want to ask questions, the Q&A will be available. But your microphone is off this evening, so if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the Q&A. Also want to remind you there's a lot of sessions going on here. We have plenty of offerings coming up in the coming weeks. So at the end, we'd ask you to get back on to iacac.org and sign up for some more sessions. And also be aware that the recording of today's session and all of our sessions will be available. So check back in about a week's time and you should be able to access that information at that time. As for the rest of the show, I'm going to hand it over to four lovely ladies that are going to tell you all kinds of information you want to know about some of the finest schools we have here in Southwest Ohio. So ladies, I'll let you take it from there.
All right, here we go. There we go. Thanks, guys. And let me pull us up there so you don't have to look at us. Good evening, everyone. My name's Heather Chase, and I'm from Miami, and I'm going to get us started by introducing the four of us and our panel tonight. So, whoops, I'm sorry. So getting us started, my name is Heather Chase. I'm from Miami University, where I'm an Associate Director of Regional Enrollment. I've been with Miami about 9 years, and I recruit in the Chicagoland area. So hopefully I'll see you, at least virtually, soon. Oh, Erin, you're muted.
Sorry, I'll get the hang of this someday. Good evening, my name is Erin Sarush. I'm the Regional Enrollment Manager for University of Dayton. I'm based here in the Chicago area. I recruit all of Illinois at this time. I'm really excited to work with you guys and hope we can share lots of info on Dayton.
Hi, my name is Jen Sloan. I'm from University of Cincinnati. I'm the Regional Enrollment Coordinator in Chicago, so you're probably noticing a trend. I'm also based in the Chicago area, and I work with students from several states, but Illinois being the largest.
And last but not least, I'm Julie Nelson. I'm the Regional Recruitment Director for Xavier University, also in Cincinnati, Ohio. And like my colleagues, I am based here in Illinois as well. So we're the Fab Four of Southwest Ohio, and we are thrilled to bring our schools to you tonight. So one of the things that we really want to start with is why would you consider, taking that 5-hour drive or that 42-minute flight from Chicago to Southwest Ohio? And well, here's why. There's 500 Fortune 500 companies. Thank you. Brilliant tonight. But about 400 of them have a presence in Cincinnati or in Dayton. And then 5 of them are headquartered in Cincinnati. So as you're looking at places to start your career, you really can't do much better than Southwest Ohio, whether it's an internship while you're in school. Excuse me, my dog is barking. Whether it's an opportunity, to start to network, to really build your professional community, you've got that as well. And so our students love that access they have to companies that everybody knows, places like Procter & Gamble and Kroger and Fifth Third Bank and Great American Insurance. Those are the kinds of places that our students have opportunities at. Easy to get to Southwest Ohio. Certainly the flight, like I said, is about 42 minutes. You can fly out of O'Hare, out of Midway. Southwest does have 5 direct flights to Cincinnati. You can get to Dayton very easily as well. And then, by rail, probably not the best option, but it is an option. The Greyhound does come to both of our cities, and then you can certainly take the bus. Although right now, the Megabus is not going to either one of our cities because of COVID. So there are other options for sure. Of course, we're all Division I institutions, and that's part of the excitement of going to one of our schools, is that while we have a variety of sizes, we are all going to give you that big school hoopla, in various sports. We all have our strengths, and we're going to talk about that tonight. But then if you want to get some professional sports, you've got everything from minor league baseball to Major League Soccer to baseball to Major League Baseball and NFL teams. So really easy to get to any of those kinds of things, as well as lots of live music, lots of great food to eat, lots of opportunities to go hiking and fishing and rock climbing and skiing even, because of our topography in Southwest Ohio. I think that's one of the things, as I work with students from the Chicago area, they're most surprised by, is that, you know, you drive through the cornfields of Indiana for about 4 hours, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, now it's hilly. When did that happen? So our students love that. It does feel a little bit like a different world. And I would say both Cincinnati and Dayton, you know, where we're at, we definitely have that Midwestern nice quality, but because of our proximity to the South, the pace is just a little bit different. And our students love that they can get everything they could possibly want or need in a big city, but not feel completely rushed about it. So just to give you an idea, map-wise, where we're at, you know, Chicago would be up in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Thank you, Heather, with the pointer. And so we're all pretty close to each other. Like, it would probably take you 45 minutes to do a round, you know, like from Cincinnati to Dayton, back to Miami to Xavier would probably take you about an hour altogether. So come and see us. Come see all of us. But you might want to start at Miami. Heather, take it away.
Sorry, muted. Good evening, everyone. I'm Heather again, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Miami University. Miami is pretty unique because we are, as you see in this picture, the more rural of the campuses. We are in a small college town called Oxford, Ohio. We're not a suburb of anything. We're mainly a big college town where a lot of things that happen in Oxford, Ohio happen because of Miami University. Likewise, the town of Oxford is pretty well populated by people affiliated with Miami. So whether it's obviously students, but then also professors, staff members, graduate students, and sometimes their families too. So it just makes for a really neat small town and college community, very walkable community, very easy to get around on foot or on a bike. Just to give you a brief overview of Miami overall, as I mentioned, Oxford, Ohio is home to 17,000 undergraduate students and only about 2,000 graduate students. So Miami is a bit unique in that ratio, in that the majority of our students and our student population are undergrads. We have a very rich undergraduate experience. And likewise, because of that, students don't have many teaching assistants, don't have many graduate assistants in their classes. Their classes are pretty much all taught by faculty members and faculty who are really invested in undergraduate learning. We are a residential campus, meaning that both first and second year students, freshmen and sophomores, are required to live on campus. So those students are living in our freshman dorms or in upper class dorms. Juniors and seniors do typically move off campus, but sometimes off campus, your apartment or home can even be closer than you were in the dorms, depending on, you know, junior and senior year where most of your classes are. Our students get very creative in the way that they, you know, where they live and how far they have to walk. So they like that. We are nationally recognized for our commitment to undergraduate teaching. We also have a pretty rich undergrad experience in liberal arts. So we are a liberal arts institution, meaning that no matter what your major is, you will have a liberal arts foundation to your classes, whether you're in engineering or accounting or philosophy. All of our students complete what we call our Global Miami Plan, which is a variety of courses in humanities, social sciences, regular sciences, math, and some world experience type courses. We're also very well known for our study abroad programs. About half of Miami students actually will study abroad by the time they graduate, which I know is hard to imagine right now in the midst of COVID, but that is something that we are, you know, working hard to get back up and running. We actually have our own campus in Luxembourg. So students that want to travel and be still a part of the Miami University system can do so going to Luxembourg. They're taught by Miami faculty. They're with other Miami students, but they're in the middle of Europe. But outside of that, certainly many options. There are Miami students in 90 different countries every semester. So really great options for study abroad. And then finally, academically speaking, lots of opportunities for undergraduate research as well. So if you're in a field in regular sciences, social sciences, and you're looking to be in a lab working with professors, that's definitely an option for you as well. to talk a little bit quickly about admission and what we look for, what we're aiming for as we receive applications. For those of you that are seniors, we do require the Common App. We only use Common App, so we don't have our own application of any kind. Our website just directs you right back to Common App. December 1st is our priority consideration deadline for both early action and early decision applicants. So as long as you can get things in by December 1st, you don't need to do the early decision route, but if you apply early action by December 1, you will certainly see priority consideration for both admission and merit scholarships. Of course, we are test optional for fall 2021. I haven't seen a school yet that isn't, so that's probably not breaking news. But just so you know, also for merit scholarships, we are test optional. So when students apply without a test score, we just don't consider that. We have so many other things that we do consider that the test scores aren't really necessary or relevant anymore. So we just use your GPA and your courses and your high school curriculum now to determine both admission to Miami and your merit scholarships. Some more selective programs at Miami when you're looking at admission, our business school is slightly more selective and our nursing major is slightly more selective. So when you're applying to Miami, please do apply to both of those programs if you're interested in them. The only caveat being, if you're not admitted to that program, you can still be admitted to Miami and then just enter the business school as a sophomore. With nursing, unfortunately, you do have to start freshman year. But if you are considering other majors, we'd be happy to talk to you about alternative majors in the health career fields or things of that nature. But just in terms of business admission, I know many students look at our business school at Miami, and please do apply to business if you are considering a business major, because even if you're not directly admitted to business as a freshman, we have a guaranteed path for sophomores to come in that works very well as well. So other than that, though, any other majors at Miami, when you apply and you get into Miami, you're just automatically into the major. So it makes it pretty simple. So that kind of covers tuition and admission information for us. I'm going to now turn it over to Jen Sloan, and she's going to tell you about the University of Cincinnati.
Everyone, I am excited to tell you about Cincinnati. So we are in the city of Cincinnati. We're about 2 miles from downtown. We are definitely the largest school that you'll hear from today. We have just over 46,000 students at the University of Cincinnati and over 27,000 undergraduates on our main campus. So definitely a big school. We can go to the next slide. We have over 350 different majors and programs. So there is a lot for you to be able to study at Cincinnati, and that's going to be in 9 undergraduate colleges. So the campus itself is, as I said, the 26,000 undergrads. It also is made up, and actually I do want to point out this number for university enrollment has actually gone up. And we are really excited about the fact that even in this kind of crazy COVID year, we have broken enrollment goals again this year. So we're excited about that. Our campus is made up of over 3,500 international students. About 25% of our students are from out of state and 19.7% report being multicultural. We have been called one of the world's most beautiful campuses, and we would very much agree. Number 3 on an up and coming university in the nation by US News and World Report. One of the best rated public universities in the nation, and number 1 for return on investment. So in part that has to do with our academic programs, which I will talk about on our next slide. So I mentioned there are 350 of them, so there is a lot to study on our campus. Within some of those courses of study, we do have a Center for Exploratory Studies. So if you are somebody that is undecided, there is an opportunity for you to apply to that program. You do apply to the university by major. All of our programs are direct entry, including our College of Nursing, any of our business, engineering programs, medical sciences, and our College of Medicine. Everything is direct. So that's where exploratory can be really helpful. We often find that undecided students are really not undecided in that you have some idea of what you're looking for and what you like, and you may not just yet know how you want to put all of that together. The Center for Exploratory Studies is going to be able to help you do that. You would apply directly to that program, and then all of our freshmen participate in learning communities of about 20 to 25 students. Exploratory students do that twice a week because there's a greater emphasis on helping you figure out your path in that freshman year. We have 11 different libraries within our UC system. We're internationally recognized for our faculty, and we have a renowned university honors program. The honors program works in conjunction with our emphasis on experiential learning. So 100% of the students at University of Cincinnati will participate in experiential learning as a part of their time with us. What that means is learning outside the classroom. And what that looks like can vary a lot depending on the program that you're in. One thing that we're well known for at Cincinnati is our co-op education or cooperative learning. At Cincinnati, a co-op is a full-time paid working experience over the course of a semester. So it would be a semester that you spend working as a student in your field rather than taking classes. If you are thinking about a program that would incorporate co-op, which would include all of our engineers, our business students have the option of co-op, most of our design students participate in co-op. I would be happy to get into greater detail with any of you, but know that that's a great option. Some other things about experiential learning could include internships, study abroad, service learning, artistic performance, research opportunities. We're a Research One institution with over $400 million of research happening on our campus in a given year. So all of our students will participate in some kind of experiential learning. The honors program follows suit with that in that it is experience-based rather than courses. So rather than taking a track of honors classes, you complete 5 honors experiences in order to complete the honors program. And those could be seminar style courses that are only offered to our honors students. They could be a co-op or internship experience only offered to our honors students. Or it could be maybe a study abroad experience that's honors focused as well. The honors program usually makes up about the top 5 to 7% of our students. And then another big question we get, so I mentioned that we are a big school. We get asked very often, so what can I expect from the size of my class? About 3% of our classes have 100 students or more, so not very many of them. 70% of our classes have fewer than 40 students. So hopefully that's a number that will be helpful to you in understanding a little bit more about what to expect from your classroom experience. Generally speaking, students are really pleasantly surprised that their classroom experience is much smaller and more individualized than what they're expecting for a school of our size. Next slide. Bearcat Promise. So we really want you to make the campus your home. We want it to be a place that you feel comfortable and that you really are able to thrive. So the Bearcat Promise is our promise to you that over the course of your 4 years, that not only will you get to graduation and get your diploma, but that you'll leave with a plan for after graduation as well. And that really starts from day one. So we have our welcome weekend, our first year experience that all of our freshmen participate in. We really work to foster an inclusive community. We have over 500 different student organizations on our campus. We are Division I for athletics. We have over 30 club sports and intramurals. There are just so many ways to be able to get involved and engaged in our campus community. We want you to be able to explore the options that I talked about with experiential learning. Many of those you don't have to know before you get to campus. It's something you can work with your advisor on planning. And then of course we want you to stay on track with a plan not only for graduation, but where do I go after that as well. As far as the application process, we are Common App only. I already mentioned that we are direct entry and that you apply directly to your major. December 1st is our early action deadline every year, including this year. We are test optional. So the test score is only required if you choose, unless you are applying to nursing, early childhood education, or the honors program. We do require a test score for those 3 programs. Otherwise, everything else is going to be test optional, and you choose on the Common App whether you'd like us to see your test score or not. In order to meet the December 1st early action deadline, as well as our honors deadline and scholarship deadline, everything has to be received no later than December 1st, and you will automatically be considered for merit scholarship, which will not include considering test score this year. So scholarships across the board will not use test score. And then the campus itself, I did want to mention, is a very residential campus. 83% of our freshmen live on our main campus. Our students are required to live on main campus their freshman year. If they live outside of a 50-mile radius, many of them who live inside of that still choose to live on main campus. Beyond freshman year, you're welcome to stay on campus, but many students will choose to move into the area that's right around us. So they're still walking distance from campus, kind of similar to what Heather said. Depending on where you may be living, you may actually have a shorter walk to class, depending on the building that you're in. So that is a little bit about Cincinnati, and I will now pass it off to Dayton.
Thanks, Jen. Again, my name is Erin Sarouche. I'm the Regional Enrollment Manager for the University of Dayton. We're located in Dayton, Ohio. We are a Catholic Marianist university, and I'm really excited to tell you more about Dayton. Next slide, please. We do have just over 8,000 undergrads on campus, so we are a mid-sized school, sort of right in the middle, not too big, not too small. Total population is around 11,000 with our graduate students. So again, still a really good size. We're still able to keep class sizes pretty small. They average about 27 with a 14:1 student-teacher ratio. So full-time faculty are teaching classes. They're in lab time, they're in office hours. They're very much a part of our campus community and will very much be a part of your campus experience at UD, and can be a great resource for you as well. We're really proud of that retention rate. Students want to be at Dayton. They want to stay at Dayton all 4 years. And we're really happy to be able to make that happen for them. Our students are really active and engaged in the campus community. 85% of our student body is living on campus, which makes us a really residential campus community. This is primarily because the university owns over 400 houses on campus in the student neighborhoods. So as a junior and senior, you have the opportunity to live in a house with your friends, next door your friends, across the street, and still be on campus. You're not dealing with landlords. You're right on campus, you're close to class, you're close to extracurricular stuff, you're close to the sporting events. It just makes for a really active and engaged group, which I think for out-of-state students is a really important thing to be aware of. We do have nearly 300 clubs and organizations, academic clubs, service clubs, social clubs, all kinds of opportunities to get involved and engaged. Service is a big part of what our campus community is involved in as a Catholic university. So the campus ministry department has opportunities for students to engage in those different activities. They'll also help students of all faith backgrounds find their place on our campus. So roughly half our campus reports to be Catholic, but we do have students of all faith backgrounds on our campus and are welcoming and inclusive of all those people. We do have Division I athletics, as was mentioned at the beginning. So we have 17 Division I varsity sports, over 30 club sports, which are competitive. They do compete against other schools' club teams, as well as a huge intramurals program. As on most college campuses, intramurals are hugely popular. Roughly half of the student body participates in those and engages in a variety of activities, basketball, volleyball, soccer, to yard games, card games. They have one where they put canoes in the swimming pools and they try to sink each other. They call it Battleship. Apparently has a huge following. I don't know. Sounds fun. But yeah, so lots of great ways to engage. Again, a really active and engaged campus community. These are obviously pre-COVID pictures. So please know that everyone is wearing masks and not hugging right now. I just wanted to give you a little sense of what campus looks like full and engaged in pre-pandemic times. You can go to the next slide, please. We do have just over half our student body from out of state, which again, for out of state students, I think is really important to know. Over 40 states represented and nearly 60 countries. So really diverse and geographically. We're also happy to share that 18% of our student body reports to be multicultural. So we do have students of all backgrounds coming to the University of Dayton. Dayton has a pretty unique tuition plan in that we freeze our net tuition over 4 years. So you won't see a tuition increase during your time at the University of Dayton. 98% of our students are receiving some form of financial aid, merit scholarships, need-based grants, work-study loans, all kinds of things. We also offer a textbook scholarship for students who engage with us in some capacity, whether it's a campus visit, a virtual visit, any of those things. And then you also would need to complete the FAFSA. So for any seniors on, hopefully that today the free form for financial aid becomes available at FAFSA.gov. So we hope that you'll complete that and you'd automatically get that $4,000 textbook scholarship. I don't know who makes these rankings, but they claim we have the happiest college students around. They do seem pretty happy, but I'm sure most of our students are happy. And then we do have a really loud and proud alumni community. Certainly here in the greater Chicagoland area, they're very active and engaged around a variety of activities. They've recently started hosting a career fair here in the Chicago area in January, right before students go back to campus after the holidays. So it's a great way for Chicago area students to connect and engage. A little bit about the admission process. We are on the Common App, UD app, Coalition app, no preference for how you apply. It's free to apply. November 1 is our early action deadline. So if you have a complete application to us by November 1, you'll have a decision by late November. February 1 is then our regular decision. We are also test optional. So you are not required to send test scores for any program. Over 80 academic programs that you can directly admit to. Very popular programs in business, health sciences, and engineering. This just shows a little bit of the success our students are having post-grad. So we're really proud of our 97% success rate. Within 6 months of graduation, students are employed in grad school or doing a year of service. I hope you'll get to know us a little better. Check us out. Come down for a visit. We are open if you're comfortable doing that. We'd love to see you on campus. I'm gonna pass it off to Julie Nelson at Xavier.
Well, thank you, Erin. So we just traveled down I-75 from Dayton to Cincinnati to come see us at Xavier. And Xavier is one of the 27 Jesuit Catholic institutions in the country. What that means, the Jesuits are an order of Catholic priests that started schools like us and Loyola and Marquette, St. Louis. And the Jesuit philosophy really gets parceled, I guess, into two different things. Number one, you're going to have a liberal arts and sciences background. That's the core of all of our educations. And the Jesuits really believed that education was for everyone. They founded their order at a time when education was only for the rich. And so the Jesuits said, nope, everybody deserves the chance for an education. The other thing the Jesuits believe is that we are to be men and women for and with others. And so that really imbues itself throughout the whole Xavier experience, not just in the classroom or outside of the classroom, but you'll find that, you know, at Xavier, we truly are musketeers, and we truly do believe that all for one and one for all mentality. And I think this is really evident in our student body. We're about 5,000 undergraduates, like Jen at Cincinnati. We had an amazing year this year, despite the pandemic. We welcomed 1,300 freshmen from all over the country. And that's one of the things that I truly enjoy about Xavier, is that while the majority of our students are from the Midwest, you are going to have friends from all over. You'll have friends from Boston and Washington, D.C. and Connecticut and San Diego and Seattle. And so you'll really get to know people and backgrounds and understand the world a little bit better. Our average class size is just about 20 students. So in those small classes, you will be called on, you will share your opinions, but that's really the heart and soul of an education at Xavier, is not just to get the right answer on a test, but to ask the right questions and to learn how to think critically and logically and write well. All of those skills that are going to help you no matter what your major is. One of the facts on this slide that I love to share is that 40% of our freshmen are the only one from their high school. And I know you probably have, you know, thinking about your own high school, you could probably name me the top 5 schools that students go to. But we really believe that there's a reason that people end up at Xavier, and it's not just, hey, I'm following the crowd. It's, I've done my homework, I've done this college search, and I know this is the best fit for me. So you will find those people. I always tell students, you know, everybody chose Xavier for a reason. You're going to find those people that you have similarities with. You're going to find people you have differences with, but you'll all be part of that Xavier family. Go ahead, Heather. So we do have lots of things to choose from in terms of majors, about 90 programs. So I'm not going to recite them all. That would be terribly tedious, I think. But I will tell you that students most often choose us for our Williams College of Business. The 3 most popular majors there are accounting, finance, and marketing. One of the coolest things about our finance program is we have our own capital fund, and that capital fund is called the D'Artagnan Capital Fund. We have 12 student managers and then a whole host of experts that work with them, student experts, and we give them $3.5 million of Xavier money to invest every year. they're doing a great job because we still have that 3.5 million plus to give them every year. So that's a great way for you as a student, if you're thinking about finance, to get some real world experience without even leaving campus. We do have a direct entry nursing program like my colleagues at the other schools. It is a 4-year Bachelor of Science in Nursing. And where we're located in Cincinnati is pretty unique because we have 10 hospitals within 5 miles of campus. So lots of opportunities to do internships, to do clinicals, to start to build that professional network. Some of the other areas that are particularly strong at Xavier are biomedical science major. The biomedical science major is really designed for students who want to go on to professional study. So whether that's pre-med, pre-dental, pre-vet, pre-PT, pre-OT, pre-physician's assistant, you can get everything you need. And last year, 92% of our students who applied to med school got in. The national average is somewhere in the low 40s. So we were very proud of the things our students were able to do, the research that they completed, and certainly the ways that they invested themselves in their future. A couple of other majors that you might not naturally think of when you think of Xavier. We do have a musical theater program. We do have a sport marketing as well as a sport management program. We have an exercise science major that leads to a master's in athletic training. So that's a 5-year program altogether. And then our occupational therapy program just transitioned to become a doctorate program. So that would be the OTD. So lots of ways. And if you're not sure, I would say about a third of our students come in as exploratory at Xavier. We don't call you undecided. Undecided sounds a little too chill. Exploratory, it just sounds a little bit more purposeful. I'm exploring, I'm going to find my way. So you have until the end of sophomore year to declare that major. One of the ways we really support our students as they go through this process is by using our success teams. So every student at Xavier has a squad, for lack of a better term, of people there to help them. As a freshman, you have 3 people on that squad, your success coach, and that person is there to make sure that you negotiate all the bumps in the road that naturally appear as a freshman. So they're there to help you with things like transitioning from high school to college, to just kind of checking in to see how classes are going, are your study skills up to snuff, all of those sorts of things. They're just one more resource to make sure that you're successful. You have an academic advisor, so someone to help make sure that you're on the right trajectory to get going towards your major and certainly towards your career, and then your financial aid counselor. So one more person just to answer those money questions to make sure that that's all in line. We had one more person to your squad as a sophomore, and that's your career coach. So we want you to be like that other 98% of our students who within 6 months of graduation have a full-time job or in graduate school doing some sort of volunteer work, or certainly enlisted in the military if that's what they want to do. Go ahead, Heather. I'm going to leave you with a little Latin. You probably weren't expecting that. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. We were just talking about, what am I going to do? And now you're going all the way back to Latin. Julie, it's a dead language. Yes, but I love this word. This word, magis, is one of those tenets of the Jesuit philosophy. And magis means the more or the greater. And that's truly what I believe that Xavier community is there to help you achieve. Because again, at 5,000 students, it's big enough that you're going to have all kinds of opportunities, whether it's, hey, I want to join one of those 170 clubs or organizations, or I want to, take a leadership role, or I want to intern with a really cool company, or I want to take advantage of the fact that we have alumni all over the country. But we're small enough too that you've got that squad of people to look out for you. You've got people who are going to get to know you as an individual and say, this is what you're good at. This is where you struggle. Let me lift you up when you're ready to take that next step, but also let me support you when maybe things aren't going so well. And so we want you to find that magis, to find that greater, to be whoever you're supposed to be when you graduate and say, I got here because of Xavier. So we're going to transition a little bit now and just talk a little more in depth about our admission profile. So we're all going to jump back on here and just kind of go through to give you a little bit more insight into how our processes work. So Heather, you want to start us off?
Sure thing. All right. So at Miami, I think I mentioned, we only use the Common application. So all of this applies only to Common App. If you go to our website, it'll just redirect you to Common App. We have two deadlines for 3 different types of programs to apply to. We have early decision. We also have early action. Early decision obviously is binding. Early action is not binding. And then a regular decision deadline of February 1. If it were me, I would try to get things in by December 1, just because we do give priority consideration by December 1 to December 1 applicants in terms of admission to our more selective programs, nursing and business, and then also for merit scholarships, also for the honors programs at Miami. So anything, you know, above and beyond just your regular admission, it will help if you get your application in by December 1st and, you know, indicate you're either early decision or early action. Of course, we are test optional for fall. The one exception to that rule is our nursing major, and I do think within a month or so we'll hear that they're test optional too. So we're just saying yes across the board for now on that. But if you do choose to submit tests, we do super score your ACT or SAT scores. So if you choose to submit them, make sure you submit them all, just so we make sure we have the super score or the best possible composite score we can make for you. Here's our middle 50% GPA. We always use a weighted GPA, middle 50 ACT and SAT both. We don't require the writing portion of the ACT or the SAT. We just use your standard, you know, test. So if you've been able to take it and you're happy with your results, feel free to submit them to us. Just so you guys know, in terms of ACT and SAT scores, I get a lot of questions about, well, should I submit them? How do I know? I think if you fall within these ranges that you're looking at here, if you are between a 1230 and a 1390 or a 26 to a 31, it's safe to submit them. If you're below that, take advantage of the fact that we're test optional. You know, let's enjoy this year of a little bit less stress with tests and, you know, just go with your grades and your high school record. All right, let's move on to Jen in Cincinnati.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, December 1st is our early action deadline. That is not binding. We do also have the regular decision deadline of March 1st. Although if you are working on your application at this point, I would say there is really no reason not to apply by December 1st and make sure that you're considered for merit scholarships. So I would not give up that opportunity. As I also said, we are test optional for everything except what's listed here: nursing, early childhood, and honors. What's good to know, if you really don't have a test score available to you, our nursing does accept transfer students going into sophomore year, and the honors program you are able to apply to once you're a student on campus as well. So both of those have entry options once you're a student if you really don't have access to a test score. If you do and you're concerned about your score for some reason, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to talk about it. I have a feeling that it's probably not ever as low as you're imagining it to be. So if you want to talk through, let's do that. We don't super score. What we will do is we'll take the highest sub score if you send us multiple tests. We just won't use it to create a new composite. So I would still encourage you to send multiple tests if you have them, just because it's just to your advantage to use the higher sub scores. You can see the middle 50% listed here. We do use the weighted GPA. The other thing I was going to say is, as far as test score review, we've gotten, as you can imagine, so many questions about it. And what I've said to students is we have a really holistic review process, and we always have. So the test score is always just a part of the review. If you don't send us a test score, we're just going to look at all of the other pieces. So if it's causing you anxiety over whether you should or you shouldn't, and you're not sure what you should do, just don't send it. It's just not worth losing all that sleep over. It's okay. And what we have decided to do, if you'd like us to use your test score, we will certainly look at it, but we aren't going to use it if it would hurt you in any way. So there's really no disadvantage to either of your choices.
And similarly, I guess a little bit earlier, November 1 is our the University of Dayton's early action deadline. So if you have a complete application to us by November 1st, you'll have a decision by late November. And again, that complete application for us does include the application with essay and the official transcript from your high school. So again, test optional, and no letter of rec is required. We will look. All students without test scores can apply to any program and will be considered for merit scholarships. We will be looking at GPA and academic rigor in consideration for scholarships. And similar to Jen, we mentioned we do the holistic review as well. So all of your application will be taken into consideration. Regular decision deadline is February 1st, but again, early is always better in any case. We will super score if you have scores and have been able to take multiple tests. So, again, I will agree with what my colleagues have said about test optional at this point. I know it's causing stress. I know everyone's concerned about it. We're all adjusting. I think every school is going to be flexible this year in different capacities, but there's going to be some flexibility. And if you end up being able to sit for a test and you want to send the score, I think we're likely going to be flexible in that as well. So you can see the numbers there. We actually do review a weighted GPA as well in consideration for admission and scholarship. So on to Julie.
All right. I'll just say ditto. No, I'm kidding. We're a little bit different in that we don't have hard and fast early action and regular decision deadlines. We're simply on rolling admission. So what that means is once we get your completed application, so application, transcript, letter of recommendation, once we have all of those pieces, you'll hear back from us in about 2 or 3 weeks. We do start reading applications on Monday. So I've been telling students, for that pile that I already have that are complete, they will have a decision in hand by Halloween, if not sooner. So like my friends, we're test optional. We're test optional for all of our programs. So again, if you don't have a test, if you don't feel like your test is the best indicator of your ability to be successful in college, don't send it. We also do not use test scores at all for scholarships. I think that's the biggest question I've gotten is, okay, you're test optional for admission, but what about merit scholarships? Again, we know that the best predictor of your success in college is what you've done over the course of your 3.5 years in high school. And so that's going to be how we award those merit scholarships as well. One thing I want to mention, because if you look at the chart, our numbers are all very, very similar, but if you listen to what we had to say, we're all very, very different schools. And so that's where it really comes down to finding that right fit. A student could probably be admitted to all 4 of our institutions, but find them all very different. So keep that in mind as you go through this process. And so this is just a list of our programs that are a little bit more selective. Certainly, I know y'all can read. And Heather, do you have anything that you want to say specifically about your programs?
I do not have anything specific aside from these are the majors that are a bit more selective. And so if you're applying to them, know that once you're into Miami, you're not necessarily automatically into these majors. Our Farmer School of Business is a smidge more selective, as is our nursing major. And then of course, creative arts majors, audition, portfolio, different types of requirements. But yeah, you guys can read. You're good. All right, here.
I'll give you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, good. And say I'll give a quick overview of our selective. If you're applying to the College Conservatory of Music, you are going to want to look on our website for the specific details. In addition to the application, you're going to need to submit a supplement and a pre-screening that will walk you through it. And for the first time, our College of Design, Architecture, Art, and Planning is accepting portfolios this year. They are completely optional, so it's up to you if you choose to send them. But if you're applying to any of these selective programs, you really need to apply by December 1st, or they may close following that date.
I don't really have anything to add, but except nursing should be on there too, and this is called out by the health sciences. But yeah, so apply early, always best.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. And for us, if you're interested in nursing, you have to have a complete application by December 1, or you will not be considered.
Early is best. All right.
Yes.
So carrying on. This is just our contact information. If anyone has questions or wants to reach out to any of us, feel free at any point. If you're applying to any one of our schools, we're good people to talk to. We're hopefully not too terribly intimidating, and we'd be happy to chat with you at any point. We'd love to hear from you. And it's such a strange year for us because we're not out seeing you all the time. We're not at college fairs and we're not at your high schools. And we, people always say, hey, put a name with a face, but that's a little harder this year. And so we would definitely encourage you, all of us would encourage you to reach out to us and, at least put an email with a face or put a, email with the name so we know, what you're all about. So feel free to contact any of us with questions at any point. If we hit the time.
And to that
on the
point, I will
nose.
just add on. So I hope you guys enjoyed our presentation today. And I will tell you, as I told the ladies before we started, I specifically picked this one because it's 4 of my favorite schools and 4 of my favorite ladies to talk to. So information right in front of you, take advantage of it, reach out to them. That's what they're here for. They're here to help you out. So if you have any questions after this, follow up with those email addresses, reach out to these ladies. They'd be happy to help you. They're some of the most accommodating people you'll meet in the biz. And so I would encourage you to do that. So, Jen, if you want to let me up here, I apparently am having an issue taking over here. So.
Oh, hang on. I probably have to stop sharing.
There we go. Great.
Is that better?
So we'll just kind of wrap up last couple of points. When we shut down the meeting here today, you're going to get a quick survey that's going to pop up. We'd ask you to fill that out if you can give us a little feedback about what you thought. And of course, we'd like to encourage you to sign up for some more sessions. This is going on for another few weeks here. Lots of great information available out there. And finally, if you want to go back and look at any of this information, or if you have friends maybe that missed out tonight, we'd encourage you to get back on, watch the recording, which should be available on the IACAC website. Definitely within a week. So again, we want to thank our presenters for coming out tonight, sharing a lot of great information in a quick little time slot. And I encourage anybody who's attended tonight, please follow up with them, any questions you have. And if you get the opportunity, go see these campuses, unbelievable places. And if you're going to make the trip, go see more than one. They're wonderful places, really nice opportunities for you. So again, we hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation. We hope you found it informative. And thank you for joining us this evening.